Good morning, children. I hope all of you are fine. So, before beginning the class, I would like to share a thought with all of you. The thought is start every day with a new hope, leave bad memories behind, and have faith for a better tomorrow. Yes, children, every day we should have a new hope. We are getting a new opportunity. God has given us a new day. Okay, so with that, we have to leave any bad thing that happened with us beforehand, that we need to leave behind, and we have to have faith on God that whatever will come in my way, that will be for my betterment. So with this, let's begin today's class. As you all can see, the photos are very nice. So today we are going to read class 4 literature, and the name of the chapter is The Hero of Haarlem. Okay, now here you can see a boy. Okay, the name of this boy is Hans. The whole story revolves around him, and he is only the hero of Haarlem. Okay, so this is basically a place. You can see this is a dike, and it does not allow seawater to enter any kind of city. This is a city of Haarlem which is surrounded by water. Okay, as a result, what happens whenever there is any kind of flood or some climatic issues, the whole uh, area gets filled up with water. And since this is a lowland area, that we'll get to know. First, let us know everything, what the topic basically means about. Next, you can see the picture of Mary Mapes Dodge. She is the author of this story. Actually, this is just a part of the story. ये छोटा सा एक part है. इसका main story का नाम है. The main name of the story is A Story of Life in Holland. A Story of Life in Holland. उसमें से एक छोटा सा भाग निकाल कर ये story बनाया गया, The Hero of Harlem. Okay, ये Mary Mapes Dawes was the author of many stories for children. Okay, she was a very good writer, you can say, and she has written the novel like Hans Brinker or Silver Skates. And as I told you earlier, that the story of life in Holland is the story from which this passage is taken, The Hero of Harlem. So let's begin with this class. I hope all of you are fine. So first we'll see the bluish part. You can see, find in your book, if you have the book with you. Yes, it's written Haarlem is a city in Netherlands. Netherlands means low country. The ground there is lower than the level of the sea. The people built dikes all around the country to prevent the sea water from rushing in. These walls are very important for the safety of the people. Now let us read a story about a boy from Haarlem who spotted something that did not look right. So we got to know the story is basically based on the place Haarlem, which is in Netherlands. Okay, when we read Netherlands, like you all live in a place that would be a town or a city, and Netherlands is a country. Okay, like India is a country for us. Similarly, Netherlands is a country for Haarlem. And what we got to know here is that Netherlands means low countries. Low countries means children, वो सी लेवल से उस कंट्री का जो बेस है वो लोअर होगा, जिस वजह से पानी बहुत इजीली उस एरिया में घुस सकता है. ठीक है. Then we got to know that what people there did, they built a wall like kind of thing. Okay, वो walls की तरह कुछ कुछ बनाने लगे, कुछ इस तरह से. You can see the pictures of the dikes. Okay, these are like wall kind of thing which does not allow the waters to enter to the city, isn't it? It is creating a wall, it is creating a boundary between the sea and the city. So here we will read a story about a boy who was from Haarlem, and he did something. Okay, and what all things he did, that only we will read in this chapter. So let's begin with this chapter. Many long years ago, in the city of Haarlem, there lived a very kind boy named Hans. Can you see Hans? Yes, he's a very kind boy. Hans' father was in charge of taking care of the dikes or the stone walls that kept the seawater from rushing into Haarlem and washing it away. So here we got to know that his father, whose father? Hans' father always used to take care of those dikes. As I you saw in the picture, no, earlier picture I showed you, the stone walls. He was taking care of the stone walls. Okay, who was taking care, children? Hans' father. Okay, you can see here the dike. Even if it is given in your book, the picture is given in your book, you can have a look here as well. Can you see the wall which is preventing the sea water to enter the city region? One day, Hans' father went on a trip. Since he usually spends his holidays watching his father care for the dikes, Hans had nothing to do. So, what happened? One day, his father went on a trip, like he went for some place for some work. Okay, since whenever there was holiday, हांस यूज टू स्पेंड हिज टाइम, वो हमेशा अपने फादर को देखता था कि उसके फादर क्या काम कर रहे, किस तरह का काम कर रहे. ओके, ही यूज टू स्पेंड हिज टाइम लाइक दैट. So next, let's see what happened. I'm going to bake some bread and few cakes, said Hans' mother. Why don't you take some to old Mr. Jansen this afternoon? So his mother is preparing some bread and cakes, and she is suggesting the boy that he should take those things to old Mr. Jansen. Okay, and Hans happily agreed, even though it was a rainy day, like even since he was bored, no. So he wanted to go and meet Mr. Jansen. So let's see who is Mr. Jansen. Mr. Jansen was an elderly man whose eyesight was failing. He had no family to take care of him, and he lived alone with his pet dog, Alphonse. Hans' mother often helped him with household chores. So here we got to know in this paragraph in your book, also you can have a look. Here we got to know that Mr. Jansen was a old man and he was not able to see things clearly, and even he didn't have a family to care for him. He lived alone with his pet dog, and the name of the dog was Alphonse. So what was the name of the dog? Alphonse. And Hans' mother usually used to help him with the household chores. Now you'll ask me, ma'am, what does chores mean? So chores means, children, household chores means something that we do regularly, like your mother, no, they used to do all the household works daily, like washing utensil, washing clothes, cooking food for you. Okay, these are all the household chores. In the afternoon, Hans' mother packed a basket of cake and bread for Mr. Jansen. We'll have dinner at 6 o'clock, so come back before that, she said as she gave Hans the basket. I won't be late, replied Hans. So in the afternoon, the mother packed all the things that he need to take for Mr. Jansen, and she even told the time that before this time you have to come back home. Okay, and basically Hans agreed to his mother. It was a long walk to Mr. Jansen's house. He lived at the edge of the town, close to the dikes. The spring rain had been much heavier than usual, pouring down hard each day and night, while the wind turned the windmills and the rain watered the tulips. The strained and swollen dikes kept filling, worrying Hans as he passed. The hard rain pelted him, and the piercing cold wind stung his cheeks. But he pressed on, keeping his head down and hunching his shoulders and pulling his coat tight about him. So, in this paragraph, you will find so many words which are very confusing and you don't know the meaning of those words. So, let me explain it one by one so that the things are clearer to you. So, while he was going to Mr. Jansen's house, it was very far away, so he had to take a walk, and it was a long walk he compared here. And then he even said that he used to live at the edge of the town. Edge of the town, शहर के totally बाहर रहना. Okay, और वहीं पर dikes होते थे, closer to the dikes. द स्प्रिंग रेन, बेसिकली स्प्रिंग के वक्त जो बारिश होती है वो इस वक्त बहुत ज़्यादा ज़ोर से हो रही है, मच हैवियर दैन यूजुअल, पोरिंग डाउन हार्ड, बहुत ही ज़ोर से बारिश हो रही है हर दिन हर रात. ओके, ईच डे एंड नाइट. वाइल द विंड टर्न्ड द विंड मिल्स, इतना ज़ोर से हवा बह रहा है कि पूरा विंड मिल्स को वो पूरा टर्न कर दे रहा है. द रेन वाटर्ड द ट्यूलिप्स. ट्यूलिप्स एक फूल होता है, इट्स अ फ्लावर. ओके, ट्यूलिप्स you all might have heard. And the strained and swollen dikes kept filling. Here you will ask me, ma'am, what does strained and swollen means? See children, strained and swollen means क्योंकि dikes rock या बेसिकली वॉल कंसिडर कर सकते हैं ना, तो उसमें कंटिन्यूस पानी गिर रहा है. द वाटर इज सीपिंग इनसाइड द वॉल, द वाटर इज गेटिंग इनसाइड द वॉल, and it is making it little softer, and it is making it little swell, फूल जाना. Okay, sij jala, like we say, no, that thing, it was happening. It made Hans worry. So he became worried because his father was not there. If anything wrong happened, what he's going to do there? Okay, being a small kid. After that, hard rain pelted him. Pelted like बहुत जोर जोर से कुछ चीज गिरना, बारिश एकदम जोर जोर से गिर रहा है. द पियर्सिंग कोल्ड विंड, पियर्सिंग बहुत जोर से हवा बहना, बहुत ही जोर से. ओके, वो पियर्सिंग हो गया. स्टंग हिज चीक, ऐसा लग रहा था उसके फेस पर वो जब हवा लग रहा था, एज इफ इट कॉज्ड अ लॉट ऑफ पेन. ओके, बहुत जोरों से हवा बहना. बट ही प्रेस्ड ऑन, वो अपना मुंडी झुका के और अपने शोल्डर्स को हंच करके वो अपना चलने लगा, और अपना कोट को टाइटली पकड़कर वो जस्ट मूव टू द मिस्टर जैनसन्स हाउस. हंचिंग मीन्स बेंडिंग द टॉप पार्ट ऑफ द बॉडी फॉरवर्ड while रेजिंग द शोल्डर्स एंड हेड. ओके, तो वो थोड़ा सा झुक करके वो अपने आप को बारिश से बचाने के लिए ऐसा कर रहा था. Who will take care of the dikes if something goes wrong while father is away? Wondered Hans. Hans reached Mr. Jansen's house with a basket of goodies. Mr. Jansen was delighted that Hans had come to visit him. Sit down, my lad, the old man said. Mr. Jansen enjoyed telling Hans stories about how things were long ago, and the boy loved to listen to him. The old man and the boy talked and talked. They shared the cake and bread. Minutes turned into hours. Suddenly, Hans looked at the clock. So now he was worried. If something happens, something goes wrong, if his father is away, what will happen to the dikes? Okay. After reaching there at Mr. Jansen's house, they had a chit chat, they had a talk with each other, and Mr. Jansen usually told stories about how things were long ago. पहले क्या क्या हुआ करता था उस वक्त में, that Mr. Jansen used to tell Hans. Both of them talked, both of them shared the things which the mother packed for Mr. Jansen, and after that बातें करते करते वक्त बहुत जल्दी बीत गया. Suddenly Hans looked at the clock. It's past 6 o'clock, he exclaimed. I won't reach in time for dinner. Mother will be waiting for me. तो यहाँ पर ऑलरेडी 6 बजकर पार हो गया है. तो वो पूरा like he was little worried about that he won't reach on time, as his mother told, no, by 6 you need to be at home. Some of you will be having doubt what is windmill. You can see the picture of windmill here. It is usually used to convert wind energy to electrical energy. Okay, and hunching means, like, you may have a doubt regarding hunching. See children, here he is holding his head high, he is bending a bit, the upper part of the body is bended, the shoulder as well as the head is little bit high. Okay, I hope the hunching word is clear for you. Hans quickly said good night to Mr. Jansen and began the long walk home. His wooden shoes clicked and clacked against the wet and muddy brick road. The rain had not let up. The street was empty. Everyone had gone home, taking shelter from the cold rain. After winding up with Mr. Jansen, he went back to home. His shoes were click clack, means it's a kind of sound the shoes make when you walk on the wet surface. Okay, wet and muddy roads, when you talk, the shoes make this kind of sound. And still it was raining very heavily. People have gone home and they were taking shelter from this kind of rain. Hans even was thinking about warm dinner and cozy bed when he passed one of many dikes. So while passing from there, he was thinking about, now I'll reach home, my mother would have cooked food, I'll eat it, cozy bed, comfortable bed, I'll go and sleep. But something did not look right. Hans crept closer to the dike to see. There, in the middle of the high stone wall, in between the stone block, was a small hole. From the hole seeped a thin trickle of water. While Hans knew that dripping water looked harmless, he also knew that water building up behind the great wall would push at the tiny hole until it became bigger and bigger. Soon it would let the water come rushing through, washing away the town. So when he was passing through the dikes, passing by many dikes, he saw in one of the dike there was a hole, and from that hole water was trickling. हल्का हल्का पानी की बूंदें गिर रही थी. ओके, बट ही न्यू कि ये जो हल्का हल्का ड्रिपिंग हो रहा है अभी तो कुछ नहीं करेगा, बट ये जो हमारा डाइक के पीछे जो पानी जमा होता जा रहा है वो कितना फोर्स लगा रहा होगा वॉल्स पे. तो अगर ये छोटा सा होल है, उस फोर्स की वजह से वो कभी भी बड़ा बन सकता है. दैट्स व्हाट इज मेंट हियर इन दिस सेंटेंस. आई होप आई एम क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू. एंड सून आफ्टर जब वो बड़ा हो जाएगा तो डेफिनेटली पूरा पानी का बाढ़, इट विल फ्लड द होल सिटी रीजन एंड इट विल वॉश अवे द टाउन. Help! Hans called out. Someone help me! Dike is going to burst. But the wind drowned out Hans' cries. He was sure nobody had heard him. There would be no help. But when he saw this, he shouted for help, and nobody was hearing his. As I told you, the streets were all empty. It was a cold, rainy day. People prefer to live at their house. Hans knew he had to think fast and do something quickly. I'll plug the hole with my hand, he decided, and he pushed his fist in the hole. The water stopped trickling. So after seeing this, he had to take some decision in order to save the town. So what he thought that he should be fast enough and he has to plug the hole. Okay, you may be having the doubt regarding plug. प्लग जैसे हमारे घर में बकेट होता है, बकेट में कभी if there is any kind of hole, what your mother does, she puts something in order to stop to fill up that gap, isn't it? You use some kind of material to fill up the hole. It can be msil or like that kind of thing which does not allow the inner thing to come outside. So what he thought, here also he need to plug something. He didn't have anything, he had his hand only. So what he did, he used his fist. Okay, he used his whole hand to put it inside and it would work as a plugging part. But after doing this, the water stopped trickling. Okay, as you can see, the water was coming out. He tried to put his hand inside it. The rain, the rain kept pelting and the wind continued to swirl. But still, Hans kept his fist plugged in the hole. He knew that in order to save his town, he couldn't let the water break through the dike. So, इतना ज़ोर बारिश हो रहा है, इतनी ज़ोर की आंधी तूफान आ रहे हैं, विंड कंटिन्यू टू स्वर्ल. स्वर्ल मीन्स मूव अराउंड क्विकली इन अ सर्कल, मतलब बहुत ही ज़ोरों से हवा बहती है गोल गोल डायरेक्शन में. ओके, इतनी सारी दिक्कतों के बाद भी, after having these many problems, still Hans continued to keep his fist plugged in the hole. So इतने सारे दिक्कतों के बाद भी वो छोटा सा बच्चा अपना हाथ उसमें रखा हुआ था कि वो जानता था कि अपने शहर को बचाने के लिए वो कभी भी पानी को डाइक के थ्रू अंदर आने नहीं देगा. Then suddenly standing before him was Mr. Jansen, who had come out to walk Alphonse. Hans, he cried, what are you doing here? So बहुत देरी बाद अचानक से उसके सामने मिस्टर जैनसन आए. वो अपने डॉग को घुमाने लेकर आए थे और वो जब देखे कि बहुत बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम में है, he immediately asked what he was doing. As he already went, you can see how he is plugging his hand. Yes, he put his whole hand inside that. There is a leak in the dike, cried Hans. Please hurry and get help. Mr. Jansen immediately got help. Soon a group of people came and repaired the dike. My lad, said Mr. Jansen, first I'll take you home and then I'll tell everyone of the boy who saved the town. तो उसके बाद जब उसे पता चला, मिस्टर जैनसन तुरंत उसका रिपेयर करवाएं और उसे घर लेकर के गए. और बाद में ये स्टोरी बहुत फेमस हो गई कि वो सभी को ये स्टोरी बताए कि कैसे एक लड़के ने पूरे शहर को बचा लिया. वो से चिल्ड्रन, द स्मॉल स्टेप्स, समटाइम्स द स्मॉल स्टेप्स विच यू टेक इन लाइफ नो दैट कैन क्रिएट मिरेकल्स. जो छोटा छोटा चीज़ें अगर हम कर दें और उस वक्त वो बेनिफिशियल हो जाए तो वो एक मिरेकल की तरह काम आता है. मिरेकल कुछ जादुई लकीली कुछ फेवरेबल काम आ जाता है. ठीक है, तो वो बॉय भी इस तरह से करके बहुत ही अच्छा काम किया है कि नहीं. सो दिस स्टोरी इज़ बेस्ड ऑन ट्रू इवेंट्स. He did this to save his own town. You all also can save if someone is in trouble. अगर कोई तुम्हारे आसपास के लोग या तुम्हारे ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स या पेरेंट्स कुछ ट्रबल में है, if any of your parents, grandparents, relative, neighbor, anyone is in trouble, and if you think you can help them, या तुम में वो पावर है कि तुम उन्हें मदद कर सकते हो, then don't think twice, just go and help them. Because education means that we as a whole want to teach you that children should keep the humanity alive in them. उन्हें अपने अंदर इंसानियत जगा कर रखना है और लोगों की मदद करनी है जब हो सके. Okay, I hope the chapter is clear to you, and I hope you liked how the boy saved the town. From here only, the hero of Haarlem name, the title of the story came, like how that boy saved everyone from such a big trouble. Yes. Okay, one more thing I would request all of you to do, that what you can do is you can think of another title. As in one of the question answer, it is asked that think of another title. Suppose you were the author of the story, okay, and you have written the story, what title would you give to the story? Okay, so it's the homework for all of you. I hope you like the video. Thank you so much.